A train is leaving the station. That train is the new Detroit. You know, we're going to hear in just a couple of minutes the familiar but no less extraordinary story of how our community refurbished that train's engine, how we emerged from bankruptcy consensually and in warp speed. Philanthropy played a small but important role in the resolution of that bankruptcy. Kevin Orr said to me it was a little bit like having Switzerland at the table, a party that had disproportionate influence because of its neutrality. I think he was too nice to say because of its money, but it was, he put it in terms of neutrality. Kresge was motivated to invest in the grand bargain because of the need to take litigation off the table. No 10 years of lawsuits about the inviolability of the pensions, no 10 years of lawsuits about the sanctity of the art. Because when you take litigation off the table, you free the community to turn to the essential business of city building, of embracing the overarching objectives of restructuring municipal services and putting in place the building blocks of a city's long-term health and vitality. I want to talk about 6 of those building blocks, 6 of the boxcars on that train that Kresge is going to invest in order to help get that train up and running. First, we're going to invest in the long-term, large-scale conversion of abandoned and blighted land into mixed-use, mixed-income, amenity-rich neighborhoods of opportunity. You know, we're poised to move beyond a time when blight and abandonment insidiously consumed our landscape, setting up an unforgiving lens through which the rest of our nation looked at our city. We're going to flip that script. We're going to take full advantage of the Detroit Future City Plan and use land as an indispensable asset for the city's renewal. And we're already seeing examples of what that might look like in the Orleans Landing project along the riverfront, in the commercial and residential components of the hockey arena, and in Quicken Loans investments in Brush Park. And there'll be more, probably even more ambitious and transformational. Second, we're going to invest in smaller, edgier, innovative uses of underutilized land, using natural resources to manage stormwater, reclaiming and repurposing abandoned housing for artistic and cultural activity, enhancing environmental stewardship through wind and solar and reforestation projects, strengthening our network of community and commercial urban gardens, with Eastern Market emerging as a robust agriculture and food hub. Each one of these activities will be grounded in the tenacity, the commitment, and the capacity of residents to reclaim and reimagine their neighborhoods. Third, we're going to invest in the seamless regional transportation system that is so long overdue. M1 Rail will stand at the core of that system. It will connect the districts of downtown, midtown, New Center, and the North End. It's already stimulating investments all up and down its spine, residential, commercial, even industrial, and it'll serve as a catalyst for the reconfiguration of the Detroit bus system, the introduction of bus rapid transit into the surrounding counties, and it will also enhance the Amtrak regional commuter rail service. If Detroit's going to be a 21st century city, it's got to have a 21st century transportation system. Fourth, we'll invest in a comprehensive, accountable, effective early childhood development system. You know, Mayor Duggan was absolutely right yesterday. Detroit will fix its K-12 public education system because it has to, and because too many people of intelligence, integrity are working hard to make that happen. But while we figure out exactly how that's going to be done, Kresge will try to gather some of its partners, its public, private, nonprofit, philanthropic partners, to begin investing in the kinds of facilities, systems, and people that will be necessary to ensure that every Detroit kid enters kindergarten ready to learn, intellectually, academically, emotionally, developmentally. Fifth, we'll invest in the burgeoning excitement of small business and entrepreneurial communities in Detroit. You know, with a big boost from Quicken Loans and from the New Economy Initiative, and more recently from Goldman and from Chase. Small businesses and entrepreneurs are diversifying the city's economy. They're reweaving the city's fabric. From tech firms downtown to restaurants in Midtown, from artist enclaves in Corktown to pop-up retail at Livernois and McNichols. These activities are reflecting a vibrancy and a sense of possibility that situate Detroit as a destination of choice for residents and newcomers alike. People who desperately, passionately want to start a business, grow that business, and claim a slice of the next generation Detroit economy. Sixth, we'll invest in financial instruments that help accelerate the return of commercial and residential lending markets into the city. Now, Dan Gilbert's audacity downtown, M1's possibility all up and down Woodward, Sue Mosey's tenacity in Midtown have all contributed to increases in demand in property values that are beginning to chip away at impossibly out-of-whack loan-to-value ratios that impede development. But it's not happening fast enough. We need to invest in more instruments like the $32 million Woodward Corridor Investment Fund, in which foundation money actually peels away the first layer of risk and permits commercial lenders to get into development deals. We need to get out of the box and think much more creatively about how to use mortgage instruments like the ones being developed by Chase and Bank of America to get more families into home ownership and enable them to make the kinds of improvements that are necessary for them to stay. And it's not necessary that the financial sector develop these instruments alone. You can use philanthropy dollars and you can use public sector creativity to make that happen. Each one of these building blocks, each one of these 6 boxcars, is going to require that all parts of the Detroit community stand up and lead. And we know what that looks like. We've seen that modeled by the Roger Penske's and the Nancy Schlichtings, the Dan Gilberts and the Faye Nelsons, the Matt Cullens, and the Dennis Archers and the Ann Parsons of the world, together with people like Al Taubman and countless, countless other people in our community. It's a model in which leadership is distributed among all sectors of our community, not just concentrated in one. It's a model that is fast and nimble, that's not mired in ossified preconceptions of the way business ought to be done. It's a model in which we keep full front and center the need to build pathways of opportunity for low-income people who would otherwise be left at the sidelines. You know, we're going to hear now from a panel that is a remarkable reminder of how almost miraculously fortunate this community was to have 4 world-class talents like the ones we have this morning working in common purpose at one of Detroit's darkest hours. They navigated us from a time that many people considered Detroit's death knell to a position of stability and coherence, equipping us for renewal and rebuilding. Their accomplishments were just monumental. Safeguarding pensions, restructuring healthcare benefits, satisfying creditor claims, setting aside money for public safety and transit and technology and blight remediation. It takes your breath away. But all of that stands at risk of unraveling unless we fundamentally reset the trajectory of this city. By embracing the kind of bold development that's going to create jobs and expand our tax base. By converting land that's a liability to land that's an asset. By redesigning public services that citizens of the 21st century have come to expect and deserve, and by putting in place the kind of quality of life that will attract new residents to the city and give existing residents a reason to stay. We're on track to do all of those things. You know, if everyone in this room and at this conference grabbed a piece of that agenda and got on that train, we could, together, help return Detroit to its rightful position as one of the world's great cities. You know, this is our moment. The eyes of the country are on us. Let's seize it. Let's get that train up and running at top speed. Thank you.